A lot of people will tell you to avoid fruit when you have diabetes. They're wrong, and eating the wrong way because of that advice might actually be making your blood sugar harder to control. Here's the truth. Some fruits can actually help lower your blood sugar, reduce insulin resistance, and even protect your heart. But there are a few you need to be a little bit more careful with. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which fruits to eat, which ones to watch out for, and how to eat them so your blood sugar stays nice and stable. And if you want a complete 7-day meal plan that already has all of this built in, including which fruits to pair with what, comment the word guide below and I'll send it to you completely free. It has recipes, grocery lists, everything. All right, let's get into it. So picture this, 2 people with type 2 diabetes, both trying to eat healthy. One cuts out all fruit because they heard it has too much sugar. The other keeps eating fruit, but smarter. 6 months later, the second person has better blood sugar numbers, less inflammation, and actually lost a little weight. The first person, frustrated, missing nutrients, and their numbers haven't really moved. That's not a made-up story. That's what the research actually shows. And it comes down to one thing most people completely miss when they think about fruit and blood sugar. It's not just about the sugar in the fruit. It's about what comes with that sugar. When you eat a candy bar, that hits your bloodstream fast. There's nothing slowing it down. But when you eat a whole piece of fruit, that sugar is wrapped up in fiber, water, something called polyphenols, which are natural plant compounds that actually help your body handle sugar better. That changes everything. So let's look at the actual science. A randomized controlled trial published in the Nutrition Journal found that eating more fruit, and I mean actually being told to eat at least 2 pieces of fruit a day, did not make A1C worse, did not increase weight, and did not increase waist size compared to restricting fruit. And it doesn't stop there. A meta-analysis that looked at 19 separate randomized controlled trials found that eating fruit actually lowered fasting blood glucose in people with diabetes with no harm to their A1C. Large observational studies also found that people with diabetes who ate more fresh fruit had better blood sugar control overall, lower A1C levels, and more people staying under that 7% A1C target. So no, fruit is not the enemy, but not all fruit is created equal. And this is where it gets really important. The key thing you need to understand is something called the glycemic index, or the GI. Think of it like a speed rating for how fast a food raises your blood sugar. Low GI means slow and steady. High GI means a fast spike followed by a crash. And for people with type 2 diabetes, slow and steady is exactly what you want. One study looked specifically at low GI consumption in people with type 2 diabetes. It found that eating more low GI fruits were linked to better A1C, lower blood pressure, and reduced risk of heart disease. So type does matter. So let's get specific. The best fruits for blood sugar are ones that are high in fiber, rich in plant compounds called polyphenols, and low on the glycemic index. These compounds actually slow down how fast blood sugar gets absorbed into your body and help your body use insulin better. So here's your list. Berries. Starting with berries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries are some of the best choices you can make. They're low in sugar, packed with fiber, and loaded with those polyphenols that have been shown to improve glucose control. Research confirms berries are among the most blood sugar friendly fruits out there. Next up are apples and pears. They're low GI, high in fiber, and studies show that people who eat apples and pears regularly have a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes in the first place. Next up are going to be your citrus fruits, oranges, tangerines, grapefruits. These are all really great options. They're high in fiber, especially in the white pith part, and their natural acidity actually helps slow down digestion, which keeps blood sugar more stable. Grapes are also quite interesting. They are a bit higher in sugar than berries, but studies actually link them to a lower diabetes risk. And a clinical trial even showed that eating dates and raisins daily for 12 weeks didn't harm A1C or fasting glucose in people with type 2 diabetes. Portion still matters. A small handful is plenty, but the point is even these fruits are not automatically off the table. Now here's the part where most people mess up, and this is important, so pay attention. Before I go on, comment guide below and I'll send you my full 7-day meal plan to help you put all this into practice. It includes exactly what to eat, when to eat, and shopping lists to make things easier. The biggest mistake people with diabetes make with fruit is not what they eat, it's how they eat it. Specifically juice. Drinking orange juice is not the same as eating an orange. Not even close. When you juice a fruit, you strip out the fiber. That fiber is what what slows the sugar absorption down. Without it, the sugar hits your bloodstream fast, almost like drinking a soda. Reviews consistently show that fruit juice and sugary fruit drinks are actually linked to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, while whole fruits are linked to a lower risk. Bananas, watermelon, pineapple, mango, ripe cantaloupe are all examples of fruit that sit a little bit higher on the glycemic index. And yes, they will raise your blood sugar faster than berries or an apple, but here's what most people miss. These fruits are still incredibly nutritious. Bananas are packed with potassium and vitamin B6. Mango is loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants. Watermelon is mostly water and has a high GI, but a very low glycemic load, meaning the actual amount of sugar in a normal portion is not as scary as the GI number makes it sound. These fruits have real nutritional value, and throwing them out of your diet completely is not necessary. What matters most is how you eat them. A few simple strategies can make a big difference. First, watch your portion. Half of a banana instead of a whole one. A cup of watermelon instead of 3. Smaller portions means less sugar hitting your blood at once. Second, pair them with a protein or a healthy fat. Eat half a banana with a tablespoon of almond butter. Have your mango with some Greek yogurt or a handful of nuts. The protein and fiber slow down how fast that sugar from the fruit gets absorbed, which keeps your blood sugar much more stable. Third, eat them after a meal rather than on their own. A randomized controlled trial found that higher GI fruits were better tolerated when eaten after a main meal compared to on an empty stomach. Your meal acts as a buffer and slows everything down. And one more thing, ripeness matters. A less ripe banana, one that still has a little green on it, has more resistant starch, which behaves more like fiber in your body and causes a much smaller blood sugar spike compared to a fully ripe, soft yellow banana. So if you love bananas, go for ones that are not fully ripe yet. The bottom line is that no fruit needs to be permanently banned from your plate. You just need to eat the higher GI ones with a little bit more intention. So let me bring this home for you. Fruit is not your enemy. The research is clear. Eating regular whole fruit does not hurt your blood sugar. It actually improves it. The best choices are berries, apples, pears, citrus fruits like oranges and tangerines. These are low GI, high in fiber, and loaded with compounds that help your body manage blood sugar more effectively. And for the higher GI fruits like bananas, mango, pineapple, and watermelon, you don't have to give them up at all. You just have to be a little smarter with how you eat them. Watch your portions, pair them with protein or healthy fat, and eat them after a meal or with a meal rather than on an empty stomach. The one thing I would recommend avoiding is juice. Whole fruit, always. Because the moment you remove the fiber, you lose the thing that makes fruit stable for your blood sugar in the first place. Before we leave, comment guide below and I'll send you our free 7-day meal plan with everything mapped out for you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so.